chosen one, do you feel a calling in your heart that you cannot explain? Tonight, Allah is reaching out to His chosen ones, and He is ready to transform you. Just 2 rakats can become the turning point of your faith, the spark that awakens a power within you that no one else can see. These are not ordinary prayers. They are a gateway to becoming a warrior of faith, a soul so connected to Allah that fear, doubt, and darkness cannot touch you. Tonight, your heart will ignite, your spirit will strengthen, and your destiny will begin to shift in ways you never imagined. Stay with me, because these 10 powerful lessons will show you how to rise, how to pray, and how to step into the greatness Allah has prepared for you. The journey of the chosen one always begins with humility, for Allah does not elevate the arrogant, the boastful, or those who seek recognition in the eyes of people. He chooses the quiet, the soft-hearted, and the sincere souls who bow without anyone watching and who surrender their pride in exchange for His guidance. Tonight, as you prepare for these 2 rakats, understand that your humility is the key that unlocks doors unseen and pathways unknown. That your sincere bow and heartfelt prostration are not just acts of worship, but instruments through which Allah plants strength, patience, and unseen power within your soul. The world may overlook you, mock you, or underestimate your abilities, but it is in the eyes of Allah that your value is measured, and He sees every tear, every whispered plea, every hidden struggle as evidence of a heart ready to carry greatness. The chosen one is never loud or flamboyant. Their power is quiet, their light is subtle yet undeniable, and their soul carries a strength that awakens at the perfect time, revealed only when Allah decides the moment is right. Your humility tonight, expressed in devotion and concentration in these 2 rakats, is not a weakness, but a fortress, shielding you from the whispers of envy, the trials of arrogance, and the traps of the worldly desire for fame and praise. Understand that greatness is not about being known by the masses, it is about being recognized by Allah, and He chooses those who are lowly in their own eyes but elevated in their submission, those whose hearts are free from pride but heavy with trust, and those whose actions reflect sincerity rather than attention-seeking. As you rise from your prayer tonight, feel that humility becoming a source of invisible strength, a spiritual armor that prepares you to face trials with patience, navigate life with wisdom, and rise into the destiny Allah has already written for you. For it is in the hearts of the humble that Allah plants seeds of extraordinary greatness, and the chosen one is always the one who quietly, faithfully, and consistently nurtures these seeds until they bloom into a life of purpose, influence, and divine honor beyond what the eyes of the world could ever measure. There is a sacred power hidden in the quiet of the night, a moment when the world sleeps but the heavens open, and those who answer Allah's call in sincerity are transformed from within. When you rise tonight for these 2 rakats, understand that every step you take toward the prayer mat, every moment you spend in bowing and prostration, and every whisper of your heart is a conversation with the Creator of the heavens and the earth, a direct link to the one who knows the secrets of your soul and the hidden struggles that no one else sees. And as you humble yourself in the stillness of the night, your soul begins to awaken in ways that daytime distractions can never allow. Your heart begins to feel a lightness that dissolves doubt, and your spirit begins to carry a strength that will anchor you through the storms of life. The chosen one is molded in these silent hours, not through loud declarations or worldly recognition, but through devotion so intimate and sincere that even the angels pause to witness, record, and bless your efforts, preparing you to face life with clarity, courage, and unwavering trust in Allah's wisdom. And as you prostrate, know that every tear, every whispered plea, every beat of your heart is a seed planted in the soil of divine mercy, destined to grow into resilience, insight, and spiritual power that cannot be shaken by the trials of the world. The night prayer does not merely cleanse sins or fulfill an obligation. It awakens hidden faculties of the soul, sharpens intuition, strengthens patience, and elevates faith to a level where you begin to see life not through the lens of fear or uncertainty, but with the vision of one whom Allah has chosen. For those who embrace the sacred stillness of the night, discover that their hearts expand, their souls illuminate, and their connection with the Creator becomes unbreakable. And as the silence of the night surrounds you, feel Allah's presence enveloping you, filling you with courage, wisdom, and a profound sense of peace. For it is in these quiet, sacred moments that the Chosen One begins the journey from ordinary devotion to extraordinary transformation. And tonight, as you complete your 2 rakats, understand that your soul has already begun to change, that your inner strength is being forged, and that your path as a warrior of faith is being illuminated by the divine light that only night prayer can awaken. Never underestimate the immense power of your dua, for in the quiet sincerity of your heart lies a weapon mightier than anything the world can forge, a force that cuts through darkness, doubt, and despair. And tonight, as you raise these 2 rakats, remember that every whisper, every tear, every plea to Allah is a declaration of faith and defiance against the challenges that seek to overwhelm you. The Chosen One understands that the battlefield of life is not won through sheer force or worldly power, but through the unshakable conviction of the soul. And when your dua is uttered with sincerity, it becomes a spiritual sword, a shield of protection, and a channel of divine support that shapes unseen realities in your favor, aligning circumstances, hearts, and even the universe itself to the mercy and wisdom of Allah. Every heartfelt supplication you make carries a weight that cannot be measured, and though the world may see only silence, Allah sees your effort, records your intentions, and prepares a response that is tailored to the magnitude of your faith and the depth of your sincerity. The Chosen One prays not for recognition, not for validation, but for connection. And in that connection lies unparalleled strength, for each dua strengthens your heart, sharpens your resolve, and transforms your weaknesses into resilience, your fears into courage, and your despair into hope. And when you prostrate tonight, pouring your heart before Allah, understand that these words are not just sounds, they are instruments of divine change, shaping your destiny, unlocking blessings, dissolving obstacles, and fortifying your soul against every trial and whisper of shaitan. The warrior of faith does not rely on weapons of the world, but wields dua like a sword of truth, a force invisible yet unstoppable. And as you complete these 2 rakats tonight, let your heart feel the power within. Let your spirit rise with the certainty that Allah hears every call. And know that the prayers you make with pure intention tonight are already moving mountains, opening doors, and preparing you to face life with a strength, courage, and resilience that only the Chosen One, armed with sincere dua, can possess. The path of the Chosen One is not paved with sudden victories or fleeting moments of inspiration. It is forged through unwavering consistency, through repeated acts of devotion, perseverance, and sincerity that the world may never notice, but that Allah records meticulously. And tonight, as you prepare to offer these 2 rakats, understand that each movement, each bow, each prostration, each whispered plea is not merely an act of worship, but a brick in the fortress of your soul, a layer of armor that grows stronger with every repetition, strengthening your iman in ways the eyes of the world cannot measure, and building a resilience that will carry you through the storms of life. The Chosen One knows that greatness is not achieved in a single night, nor is it granted to those who seek instant recognition, for Allah's wisdom is patient, and He elevates those who remain steadfast in small, consistent acts of obedience, those who maintain devotion even when hearts grow weary, even when the world seems to mock their efforts. For it is in the quiet persistence of faith that true power is cultivated, where the unseen work of the soul prepares one to face trials, opposition, and the weight of destiny with a confidence that comes not from self, but from Allah, who perfects what is unseen and multiplies the rewards of the steadfast. The power of consistency lies in its ability to transform ordinary acts into extraordinary impact, to turn small steps into journeys of elevation, and to make the heart a sanctuary of patience, humility, and trust. For when a chosen one prays consistently, even in solitude, even when the world is unaware, Allah surrounds them with angels, strengthens their spirit, opens their paths, and aligns their circumstances in ways that make obstacles mere stepping stones and delays mere preparation. Consistency is the silent force that transforms a hesitant heart into a courageous soul, a wavering mind into one of clarity and purpose, and a believer into a warrior of faith whose strength cannot be shaken by adversity, criticism, or envy. For the chosen one does not rely on fleeting motivation or external validation, but draws power from the unwavering commitment to remain in Allah's remembrance, to act with sincerity, and to continue moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem, knowing that Allah measures intentions, preserves effort, and amplifies every act of devotion beyond what the human eye can comprehend. Tonight, as you complete your 2 rakats, remember that consistency is not merely about the act of prayer itself, but about building a life of resilience, a spirit that does not waver in trials, a heart that trusts Allah's timing, and a soul that becomes unshakable through persistent obedience. For it is this unwavering pattern of devotion that plants the seeds of unseen strength, nurtures spiritual power that will guide you through every challenge, and mold you into a chosen one whose faith is steadfast, whose patience is limitless, and whose soul carries the quiet, indomitable strength of one who has learned that true greatness is not in the visible accolades of the world, but in the invisible, consistent acts that transform the ordinary into extraordinary, the temporary into eternal, and the humble believer into a warrior of Allah whose unseen strength shapes destiny, illuminates paths, and leaves a mark that is recognized first and foremost by the one who chooses, prepares, and elevates. The path of the chosen one is never free from challenges, and the trials you face are never a reflection of Allah's anger or rejection, but rather a testament to His love, a divine preparation designed to strengthen, refine, and elevate your soul beyond the limitations of ordinary understanding. And tonight, as you rise for these 2 rakats, know that every hardship, every moment of pain, every whisper of doubt, and every obstacle in your path is a tool in the hands of Allah, shaping you into a warrior of faith whose heart is resilient, whose mind is disciplined, and whose soul is fortified against the unseen forces that seek to weaken you. For the chosen one learns to see trials not as punishment, but as opportunities to grow in patience, deepen trust in Allah's plan, and develop a clarity of vision that only hardship can provide. The night is the perfect time to reflect on this, to pour your heart into prayer, to acknowledge your struggles while surrendering them to Allah, and to feel the weight of His mercy lifting the burden from your soul even as He tests you with challenges that seem insurmountable to the eyes of the world. For the purpose of trials is never to break you, but to awaken your true potential, to reveal strengths you never knew existed, and to prepare you for the responsibilities, blessings, and victories that await when the time is decreed by Allah. Every difficulty you endure is a layer of armor. Every moment of pain is a lesson in resilience, and every tear you shed in sincerity is a seed of spiritual power that grows quietly within your heart. Unseen by others, but recorded and cherished by Allah, who knows the sincerity of your struggle and multiplies its rewards beyond human comprehension. The Chosen One understands that what feels like delay, hardship, or loss is often the very process through which Allah elevates them, shaping character, refining intentions, and purifying the heart from pride, impatience, and reliance on worldly measures of success. And as you bow and prostrate tonight, remember that your submission is not only an act of worship, but also a declaration of trust, a surrender to divine wisdom, and a signal that you are ready to receive the hidden blessings embedded in your trials, the strength that can only emerge from endurance, and the insight that is unveiled when you turn to Allah in the moments that feel most challenging. Know that no test is wasted, no difficulty is meaningless, and no hardship is outside the plan of your Creator. For the Chosen One recognizes that every obstacle is a lesson, every struggle is a gift in disguise, and every moment of waiting is a preparation for a breakthrough that will manifest in divine timing, perfectly aligned with His will. Tonight, as you complete your 2 Rakats, feel your heart grow resilient, your faith deepen, and your spirit rise. For Allah is not punishing you, He is preparing you, and the trials you face are not chains to bind you, but tools to shape you, not burdens to break you, but instruments to elevate you, not moments of despair, but gateways to the strength, courage, and wisdom that define the life of a Chosen One whose journey is guided, whose path is protected, and whose destiny is being carefully sculpted by the One who sees the unseen, rewards the patient, and transforms every test into a triumph of faith. The Chosen One carries within their heart a force more powerful than any sword, shield, or armor the world can offer, and that force is faith, a faith so unshakable, so profound, and so intimately connected to Allah that it becomes a weapon, a source of strength, and a sanctuary against every test, trial, and whisper of doubt that seeks to weaken the soul. And tonight, as you prepare to offer these 2 Rakats, understand that your faith is not a mere belief or a fleeting feeling, but a living, breathing power that shapes your reality, governs your actions, and aligns your heart with the divine will. For the warrior of faith does not rely on human strength, worldly influence, or external validation, because they have discovered the secret that true power is invisible, quiet, and unyielding when it is rooted in Tawakkul, complete trust in Allah. Every prostration you make tonight, every bow, every whispered plea, and every moment spent in sincere devotion is a reinforcement of this spiritual weapon, strengthening your heart, sharpening your resolve, and fortifying your soul against the storms of life, the whispers of Shaitan, and the doubts that others may plant in your mind. For the Chosen One knows that faith is not passive, it is active, it is alive, and it is capable of moving mountains, transforming fear into courage, weakness into resilience, and despair into hope. And as you bow in the quiet of the night, feel the weight of Allah's presence infusing your soul, for He is the source of this weapon, the one who polishes it, strengthens it, and ensures that no force of the world or the unseen can sever the bond between you and Him. Your faith allows you to stand unshaken when others falter, to act decisively when others hesitate, and to face trials with a clarity of heart and a calmness of mind that can only come from deep trust in the One who controls the heavens and the earth. And every challenge you encounter becomes not an obstacle, but an opportunity to wield this weapon, to demonstrate patience, perseverance, and reliance on Allah. For the Chosen One understands that life is a battlefield of the soul, where victory is not measured by wealth, status, or recognition, but by the steadfastness of faith, the sincerity of intention, and the resilience of the heart. And tonight, as you rise from your prayer, feel your faith becoming more than a concept. Feel it becoming an energy, a force, a shield that surrounds you, an invisible sword that protects you, and a light that guides you through darkness. For the chosen one's faith does not merely protect, it transforms, heals, and empowers, allowing you to rise above envy, hostility, and negativity, to act with wisdom even when the world pushes you toward haste, and to respond with compassion even when injustice seeks to provoke anger. And know that this weapon is eternal, for it is grounded in the unseen, forged in sincerity, and fueled by the connection to Allah, whose support is constant, whose guidance is unfailing, and whose power ensures that every act of devotion, every moment of trust, and every expression of faith carries weight in the scales of eternity, shaping your destiny in ways that eyes cannot see, minds cannot comprehend, and hearts cannot measure. For the chosen one is not defined by the world but by Allah, and the strength of their faith becomes a force that not only protects them but inspires others, elevates communities, and fulfills a divine purpose far greater than personal gain. And as you complete your 2 rakats tonight, feel this weapon within you. Feel it grow, sharpen, and resonate. For Allah has placed within you a power that no enemy can overcome, no fear can penetrate, and no trial can extinguish. And when you step into the world tomorrow, you step as a warrior whose strength is invisible yet undeniable, whose faith is a shield no darkness can breach, and whose soul carries the quiet, unstoppable force of one whom Allah has chosen, prepared, and armed with the most potent weapon of all: unwavering, unshakable, life-transforming faith. And remember, every moment you nurture this weapon, every act of devotion you perform with sincerity, every trial you face with trust, and every whisper of prayer you offer with concentration makes you stronger, purer, and more aligned with the divine purpose for which Allah has destined you. For it is faith, and faith alone, that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary, the transient from the eternal, and the follower from the chosen one. And tonight, as your forehead touches the ground in humble submission, know that you are being equipped, elevated, and empowered to face life as a true warrior of Allah, a soul whose power is invisible, whose courage is unshakable, and whose destiny is secured by the strength of the faith that pulses within. The journey of the chosen one is not just about performing acts of worship or seeking closeness to Allah in ways visible to the world. It is about awakening an inner vision, a divine insight that allows the heart to perceive realities hidden from ordinary eyes. And tonight, as you rise to offer these 2 rakats, understand that each bow, each prostration, and each whispered prayer is a key unlocking layers of perception that reveal the truths concealed behind the veil of this worldly illusion. For the chosen one begins to see that what others chase with urgency, worry, or desperation often holds no value in the sight of Allah, and what seems hidden, uncertain, or obscure is precisely where divine wisdom resides, shaping paths, aligning events, and orchestrating encounters that the human mind could never fully comprehend. Through sincere devotion, the heart becomes attuned to subtle signs, spiritual whispers, and divine guidance that transcend ordinary understanding, allowing the chosen one to navigate life with clarity, discernment, and an unshakable sense of purpose, even in moments when the world seems chaotic, unjust, or incomprehensible. For the eyes of the heart, once awakened, perceive the workings of divine decree, the consequences of intentions, and the subtle ripples of good and evil that shape destinies in ways unseen. And as you prostrate tonight, pouring your heart in submission, feel Allah opening your spiritual sight, preparing you to recognize what is genuine and what is deceptive, what is beneficial and what is a test, and what is a blessing hidden beneath trials, so that your responses, decisions, and actions will be guided not by fear, anger, or confusion, but by a wisdom rooted in divine insight. The chosen one learns that those who speak ill, those who harbor envy, and those who oppose you are often instruments in Allah's plan to reveal strength, resilience, and clarity within your heart. And every challenge you face becomes a mirror reflecting lessons, opportunities, and hidden paths meant to elevate your soul beyond the ordinary, for nothing in life is random when Allah chooses and guides. And the veil that hides truth from the untrained eye is lifted for the one whose heart seeks sincerely, prays consistently, and trusts completely. Your heart begins to recognize the intentions behind actions, the sincerity behind words, and the subtle dynamics of the world in a way that allows you to act justly, respond with wisdom, and protect yourself and those around you without being deceived by appearances. For the chosen one does not rely on what is seen, but on what Allah reveals within the heart. And this insight is both a shield and a guide, a weapon against deception, and a light illuminating the paths that lead to success, peace, and divine closeness. And as you complete your 2 rakats tonight, feel your perception sharpening, your spiritual senses awakening, and your heart expanding to receive a clarity that will guide you through life with discernment and courage, allowing you to see beyond the surface of events, the facades of people, and the illusions of this world. For in this vision lies not arrogance, but humility, not judgment, but understanding, and not separation, but alignment with Allah's divine plan. And the chosen one walks with the knowledge that while others stumble in confusion, doubt, and misperception, their heart sees with the wisdom of Allah, their spirit moves with certainty, and their soul navigates life with a calmness, insight, and clarity that is unmistakably a gift of divine elevation, a blessing granted to those who rise in devotion when the world sleeps, who surrender their fears in prostration, and who trust in the one who opens the eyes of hearts to see the unseen, recognize the hidden, and act in accordance with eternal wisdom, so that every decision, every step, and every response becomes aligned with divine guidance, transforming the chosen one into a soul capable of moving through the world with purpose, insight, and unshakable faith, seeing realities behind the veil that others cannot, understanding the intentions behind every action, and embracing the divine order in every circumstance. For this vision is not given lightly. It is earned through sincerity, humility, devotion, and complete reliance on Allah. And tonight, as your forehead touches the ground, let your heart open fully to perceive beyond the veil, for you are stepping into the clarity, insight, and divine awareness that marks the life of the truly chosen, the one whose faith, patience, and devotion illuminate what is hidden, strengthen what is tested, and prepare the soul for a destiny aligned with the wisdom, power, and mercy of Allah alone. The chosen one understands that patience is not merely waiting, nor is it passive endurance. It is the quiet, unwavering strength that Allah places within the hearts of those He chooses, a strength so profound, so deeply rooted in faith, that it transforms hardship into opportunity, trial into triumph, and delay into divine strategy. And tonight, as you rise to perform these 2 rakats, feel the power of patience flowing through your soul. For every bow, every prostration, and every whispered plea is a moment of surrender that strengthens your heart, tempers your spirit, and polishes your character, making you resilient to the tests, distractions, and deceptions of this world. For the chosen one is tested not to be broken, but to be refined, not to be defeated, but to be elevated. And it is patience that allows the soul to endure what others cannot, to persevere when the world offers no support, and to trust when everything around seems uncertain, for in every trial, every delay, every moment of opposition lies an opportunity to demonstrate unwavering trust in Allah, a chance to practice steadfast reliance on the one who holds the heavens, the earth, and every secret of the unseen in his hands. And the warrior of faith understands that patience is not a weakness, but a weapon, not a burden, but a blessing, for it shields the heart from despair, guards the mind from impulsive decisions, and allows the soul to move with clarity, wisdom, and divine alignment, even when the storm rages around. And as you bow tonight, immerse yourself in the awareness that Allah is present, that He sees every act of endurance, every silent prayer, every tear shed in devotion, and that He multiplies the reward of patience beyond comprehension, preparing you for responsibilities, successes, and spiritual elevations that could never be achieved through haste, arrogance, or impatience. For patience allows the chosen one to walk through trials unshaken, to rise above the chaos of envy, malice, and opposition, and to act with foresight, discernment, and wisdom that only the hearts of the steadfast can possess, and know that the most profound victories in life, those that leave the world in awe and the soul in peace, are not attained by the hasty, the impulsive, or the proud, but by the patient, the humble, and those who trust that Allah's timing is perfect, that every difficulty has a purpose, and that every moment of waiting is a preparation for greatness. The chosen one learns that when patience is combined with prayer, trust, and reliance on Allah, it becomes a fortress, a light, and a guide, allowing them to navigate life's complexities with calmness and courage, to respond to hostility with wisdom, to confront challenges with clarity, and to remain unshaken in heart and mind when the world is uncertain. For the patient soul does not panic when doors close, does not despair when paths are delayed, and does not falter when outcomes seem unclear, because they know that Allah's plan is far greater than human understanding, and that every obstacle, every test, and every moment of waiting is a divine tool to strengthen their character, deepen their faith, and prepare them for the responsibilities, victories, and blessing that await when the timing is perfect. And tonight, as you complete your 2 rakats, feel patience settling within your heart like a quiet river, steady, unshakable, and full of unseen strength. For it is this patience that makes you a chosen one, a warrior of faith whose soul cannot be broken by trials, whose spirit cannot be defeated by delay, and whose destiny is aligned perfectly with the wisdom, mercy, and power of Allah. And remember that the silent strength of patience is not only a protection against worldly tests, but also a channel for divine light, guidance, and empowerment, a means by which the soul becomes fortified against every whisper of shaitan, every temptation, every moment of despair, and every human limitation, transforming your waiting into worship, your struggle into growth, your trial into triumph, and your silence into a source of unstoppable spiritual power. For the chosen one does not seek immediate reward, does not measure success by worldly standards, and does not falter when the path is steep, but instead relies fully on Allah, knowing that true strength, true victory, and true elevation come through patience that is steadfast, sincere, and inseparable from faith. And as you lower your forehead to the ground tonight, let every moment of this prayer infuse your heart with the silent strength of endurance, the unwavering courage of trust, and the quiet power of a soul that has learned that patience is not a waiting game, but a divine weapon, a fortress of the heart, and the ultimate mark of those whom Allah has chosen to rise above the ordinary, illuminate the unseen, and walk with purpose, dignity, and unwavering faith through a world that can never understand the depth, magnitude, and sanctity of a heart that has been trained, strengthened, and elevated through the sacred power of patience. The chosen one understands that it is not the grandeur of action, the number of followers, or the recognition of the world that determines influence, but the purity of intention, the depth of sincerity, and the unwavering devotion to Allah that transforms ordinary deeds into extraordinary impact. And tonight, as you rise to perform these 2 rakats, feel the weight and beauty of sincerity settling in your heart. For every bow, every prostration, every whispered plea, and every heartfelt expression of worship is multiplied in ways unseen by human eyes yet visible to Allah, who measures the quality of your intentions, the honesty of your heart, and the devotion behind your actions. And it is this sincerity that turns your efforts into blessings, your patience into inspiration, your struggles into lessons, and your trials into triumphs. For when a chosen one acts with purity, their impact ripples far beyond what the mind can comprehend, touching hearts, shaping circumstances, and moving destinies according to the will of Allah. And the power of sincerity lies not in the magnitude of the action, but in the authenticity of the heart, the truthfulness of intention, and the commitment to perform every deed solely for the sake of Allah, untainted by desire for recognition, approval, or worldly reward. And as you humble yourself in prostration tonight, know that Allah sees the hidden devotion in your heart, records it, and elevates its reward exponentially. For a single act performed with pure intention can outweigh countless deeds performed for pride, fame, or show. And the chosen one is aware that even when the world misunderstands, mocks, or undervalues their actions, the divine impact of sincerity cannot be diminished. For Allah alone is the witness of hearts, the evaluator of deeds, and the multiplier of reward. And it is this knowledge that allows the soul to act boldly, to persevere faithfully, and to contribute to the world without fear of judgment, disappointment, or misinterpretation. For the chosen one works quietly, consistently, and sincerely, knowing that every act, no matter how small, carries infinite potential when performed with devotion and pure intention. Sincerity also shields the heart from the poison of envy, arrogance, and hypocrisy, creating a fortress of authenticity around the soul that allows it to navigate trials, opposition, and criticism with grace, humility, and unwavering trust in Allah. For when actions are rooted in sincerity, the heart remains unshaken by the world's judgment, uncorrupted by its temptations, and undeterred by the obstacles it faces. And the chosen one knows that every challenge encountered is not a setback, but an opportunity for the sincere heart to grow, strengthen, and shine, to illuminate paths for others, and to align with the divine wisdom that orchestrates life according to Allah's infinite knowledge and mercy. And as you complete your 2 rakats tonight, feel the transformative power of sincerity within you. Understand that it multiplies the effect of every prayer, act of charity, moment of patience, and expression of faith, turning small, quiet deeds into monumental spiritual achievement. Opening doors of guidance, blessing, and elevation that the eyes of the world cannot perceive, and know that the chosen one is recognized not by the applause of people but by the reward of Allah, who multiplies the sincere effort of His servants beyond imagination, grants influence and impact far beyond what they can see, and preserves their heart in purity, strength, and humility. For sincerity is the secret behind every true victory, the invisible force behind every meaningful change, and the divine instrument that transforms ordinary lives into legacies of faith, courage, and spiritual power. And tonight, as your forehead touches the ground in submission, let sincerity anchor your heart, strengthen your faith, and illuminate your path. For every act performed with authenticity, devotion, and love for Allah alone is a seed planted in eternity, a ripple that expands far beyond the limits of human perception, and a force that multiplies impact, opens blessings, and establishes the chosen one as a soul whose influence is not fleeting, whose strength is enduring, and whose devotion resonates through time and space in ways that only the sincere, humble, and faithful heart can understand, carry, and manifest. For Allah has promised that the efforts of the pure-hearted are never wasted, and every act done in sincerity becomes a vessel of divine power, shaping destinies, inspiring others, and elevating the one whose heart beats with devotion, patience, and unwavering faith, creating a legacy that is eternal, invisible, and immeasurable. And it is this power, this quiet yet unstoppable force of sincerity, that defines the life, the mission, and the destiny of the chosen one in the eyes of Allah. The chosen one who rises in devotion tonight, performing even just these 2 rakats with sincerity, humility, and unwavering focus, stands at the threshold of transformation, for Allah does not call the ordinary to extraordinary tasks without first preparing their hearts, minds, and souls for what lies ahead. And it is in the quiet moments of night prayer, in the whispers of the heart, and in the sincere surrender of the soul that the transformation begins, a process unseen by the eyes of the world, yet profound, powerful, and life-altering, where every tear shed in humility, every prostration performed in concentration, and every whispered plea offered with pure intention is a tool of refinement, a means of empowerment, and a signal to the heavens that this servant is ready to be elevated. For Allah does not merely bestow strength on the unprepared, nor does He grant influence to the untrained, but He meticulously molds the hearts of those He has chosen, transforming patience into courage, faith into a shield, and devotion into an unstoppable force capable of facing trials, opposition, and darkness with clarity, wisdom, and resilience. And tonight, as you bow, rise, and submit fully to Allah, feel the quiet power entering your soul. For the warrior of faith is not made through worldly training, recognition, or acclaim, but through the unseen acts of perseverance, sincerity, and devotion that build character, sharpen intuition, and awaken a spiritual strength that no enemy can penetrate and no trial can diminish. Understand that this transformation is both gradual and profound. A silent reshaping of your inner being that allows you to act with courage when fear seeks to paralyze you, to speak with wisdom when confusion clouds the minds of those around you, and to move with purpose when the world moves in haste without direction. For the chosen one's strength is invisible yet undeniable, a light that shines from within, illuminating paths, inspiring hearts, and guiding actions according to divine wisdom. And as your heart beats in the quiet of the night, know that every act of worship, every moment of patience, and every sincere intention is being multiplied, forming the foundation of a warrior whose faith is unshakable, whose spirit is fortified, and whose destiny is aligned perfectly with the plan of Allah, who sees, guides, and elevates, preparing this chosen one for responsibilities, victories, and divine missions that exceed human imagination. For the warrior of faith does not rely on worldly measures of strength, courage, or influence, but on a heart anchored in Tawakkul, trust, and devotion to Allah. And it is this unwavering reliance that allows the soul to act decisively, confront challenges with clarity, and navigate the complexities of life with wisdom that transcends human understanding. And as you complete your 2 rakats tonight, feel the subtle yet profound changes occurring within, the unseen fortification of your spirit, the sharpening of your insight, and the awakening of a strength that will allow you to persevere through adversity, inspire others, and stand firm when trials and opposition come, for the chosen one is nang prepared not for ordinary battles, but for spiritual, moral, and life-altering missions that require courage, patience, and unwavering faith, and know that every whispered prayer, every sincere tear, every moment of devotion, and every act of humility is being transformed into an invisible weapon, a shield, and a source of divine guidance, forming the very essence of a warrior of faith whose soul cannot be shaken, whose heart cannot be corrupted, and whose destiny is fully guided by the wisdom and mercy of Allah. For the true warrior does not seek recognition, victory, or reward in the eyes of the world, but in the approval, guidance, and blessings of the one who chooses, strengthens, and elevates. And as you rise from your prayer tonight, let your heart recognize the transformation that is already underway, the strengthening of your character, the awakening of your spiritual insight, and the fortification of your faith. For Allah is shaping you, preparing you, and empowering you to face life with courage, wisdom, and divine purpose. And when the world tests you, challenges you, or misunderstands you, remember that the warrior of faith has been forged in patience, sharpened in sincerity, and elevated through devotion, standing as a living testament to the power of Allah's guidance. The strength of unwavering faith and the transformation that occurs when a chosen soul rises in sincere prayer, embraces divine guidance, and surrenders fully to the one who transforms the humble, the sincere, and the steadfast into warriors whose hearts are unbreakable, whose faith is unstoppable, and whose souls carry the quiet, indomitable power of one who has been chosen, prepared, and elevated by Allah to fulfill a destiny that is extraordinary, eternal, and divinely guided beyond the comprehension of those who rely solely on the visible, the worldly, or the fleeting. And tonight, as your forehead touches the ground in humble submission, know that you are stepping into the fullness of this transformation, awakening the warrior within, and embracing a life of purpose, courage, and faith that is truly unstoppable, illuminated, and protected by Allah alone. As we close these 10 powerful lessons for the chosen one, remember this: Allah is not just watching your journey, He is actively shaping it, guiding you, and preparing you for greatness beyond what your eyes can see. Every trial you endured, every moment of patience, every whisper of prayer, and every act of sincerity has been building a warrior within you, a soul anchored in faith, strengthened in heart, and illuminated with divine wisdom. You are not here by chance. You were chosen, elevated, and prepared for a purpose that only Allah knows in its fullness. And tonight, as you rise from your prayer, feel the transformation already unfolding within you. Let your heart trust in His plan, your soul rest in His timing, and your actions reflect the unwavering faith that makes the impossible possible. Go forward, knowing that the battles you face are shaping you, the obstacles are training you, and the quiet devotion you hold is your greatest weapon. You are becoming more than what you were yesterday. You are becoming a warrior of faith, a beacon of light, and a servant whose impact reaches beyond the visible. So rise, strengthen your connection with Allah, and carry this divine power into every step of your life, because the world may not always see it, but the one who matters most has already chosen you, prepared you, and is equipping you to shine like never before.